Hi, welcome. My name is Dan Mulkowski. And in this video, I'd like to discuss the whole issue of effectiveness when it comes to dog training, about why it's important to bring a dog within the follower script. Why oftentimes just getting a dog, say, to wait for the food or to sit beside you, or even sometimes what will happen is the dog can actually be, this is the whole appearance thing, can be floating along beside the person even during the walk. And however, the dog can still be holding power in the relationship, can still be seeing themselves as the leader. And why that can happen, because the whole thing, when we see something and it appears a certain way, that will lead us into a certain interpretation that'll say, okay, well, it lines up, or it appears to be, the dog's waiting there for the food, and that it must mean that the dog's behaving, or the dog is starting to see me as a leader. And the short answer to that is not always. I mean, this is the thing about the whole thing with dogs in general, with how their decision-making process works. Why I talk about this whole issue about being objectified. How it has to be, technique itself or the method itself has to be meaningful. Okay, it has to be at such a level that it's going to be effective with impacting or influencing a dog's decision-making process. That's why touch, okay, is very important. That's why when you come over and if you see my method using the push and pull technique, okay, and looking beyond, this is why I talk about this whole issue about relational influence as opposed to corrective influence. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm bringing the dog's mind, decision-making process. I'm bringing it, directing it, filtering it through the follower script. I'm creating these, I define them as follower moments. But this whole thing with having a dog, say, wait for their food, you can put your hand up and just have the dog wait. But what's happening is, within that context, the dog's mind is still jumping over the person. It's as though you're not there. You're like an obstacle to them. They know that they have to wait, but it's not having any real meaningful impact. They still have no respect for you. Okay, in that way, they know that they have to relent, or they have to halt to a certain level, because they know that that's just how the game is played. But that's how they see it. They don't see, there's no real meaning behind it. They still, if you're still, they still see you within this weak type of relational script. And sometimes, the amazing thing is, oftentimes this is the case, that the owner may actually have the right personality type. They may actually be, a very strong, confident person, a great, say, leader, but the dog is dancing, or they're dancing around the issue. They're not. What they're doing is, the dog is staying beyond the range of that, being brought into that script in a way that's going to create meaningful change. That's why it's really important that when you see my methodology with how I employ it, how I work the dog's mind, that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure I'm targeting the dog's decision-making process. I'm making sure I'm bringing them within that script. And so you look at the dog's reaction to that. That's why, for example, if you go from the waiting position, okay, having the dog wait, and you actually reach out or take a hold of the dog and bring them in and start through the push-pull method, you'll see a strong reaction to not liking that, because the dog knows what you're doing. Okay, they know. There's no way he's in my pond now. He's messing with me. Okay, when I say messing, that's not meant to be a bad thing. It's relationally. Okay, you're starting to define it. Okay, you're getting specific. Okay, it's like that's what you're focusing in on the real problem. So that's why you have to bring the dog within that script. That's why you go from just making the dog wait. You have to actually bring them in on a leash right tight, right next to you, and do the push, bring them in the sit position, but be pushing on their back and not even asking them to do it. You're not saying, please sit. You're just pushing. Because you're communicating. They actually know before your hand even makes contact, okay, they know the intent. Okay, I know that's hard for people to grasp. It sounds like some sort of nature communication thing. Well, it is. I mean, dogs know where the mind is going. Okay, I mean, they're in tune to that. So the whole, how the dog's mind reacts to that is really indicative of where you're standing relationally. For example, if the dog is completely balanced out, if the dog is, if I have the leader role, you're going to see that reaction. In fact, if I say come, the dog's going to come right in. If I push on their back or express a reasonable amount of influence on them, okay, they're going to accept it. In fact, you're going to see it. You're not going to see that challenge at all. Okay, it'd be different if you're unreasonable, and that's, you get into this whole thing about the ridiculous way that behavioralists and these people frame this thing about physical force up. What they're doing is they're taking it completely out of context, okay, because it's an ideology, so they're going way off the deep end with this stuff. What I'm saying is just like being normal about things, okay? If you look at how a dog's reacting to levels of leadership, that will give you a really good baseline as to where you're standing. And that's why you can't be fooled, you could be fooled by how a dog responds at certain levels, and it'll give an appearance of something which isn't really true. And that's that whole, physical response relational disconnect I talk about. Okay, and that's a very real thing. It's a very real problem. And how you overcome that problem is how you employ the methodology. And so I'd really encourage you to check out my site if you're wondering why certain methods don't work, or they appear to work and they don't really work. You want to get a better handle on it, you can go in and check out my videos. I have several videos discussing these issues, why I do things the way I do them. You have to look beyond just the physical, force part. Okay, you have to look at what I'm doing. It's relational influence. Okay, and I'm bring the dog's mind, I'm filtering it, I'm bringing it through the relational, through the follower script. Define them as what I call follower moments. You'll see how that all plays out with creating meaningful change. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.